Welcome back to Marketing Champions on Daily Ad Brief. I'm your host, Mike White, and on Marketing Champions, we're meeting with experts in the advertising industry and talking about the tips, the tricks, the trends, and all the advances going on that they utilize to help their companies grow. Join us today from Carolyn Reps, Miss Carolyn Hill. Welcome to the program.
Hi, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So tell me about your company and the services you offer your customers.
Sure. Basically, I'm like a freelance executive producer. So clients try to create content, which is obviously king right now. They're using multiple platforms, whether that's Facebook, TikTok, regular commercial advertising, and it's a visual medium. So I have a long history in animation, live action, visual effects, and also now international locations, which is key during COVID as far as like where can people travel to? Can they bring a director? Can we get a local person to shoot with someone? So COVID has made it very tricky, but my skill set has become quite necessary in order for content to be created.
What excites you most about the industry that you're in, and what scares you the most?
Well, what excites me during this weird COVID time is that marketers have sort of frozen and they haven't been sure what to do for the last year and a half. And I think that type of marketing amnesia is gone. And now people are like excited about figuring out how their brand space fits into 2020, 2022. And that's a good thing. What scares me is not having the pandemic under control.
What's the biggest obstacle that you've had to overcome in your business?
Being a woman.
So go into more of that. What challenges did you have or opportunities that didn't present themselves?
I would say being underestimated is number one. I would say that being allowed into the right room took decades to do. But it's refreshing to see how the changes have happened in the business, especially in the last 2 years. And that's been really actually satisfying.
You've been in this industry 25 years. What is the biggest change that you've seen that has really affected the way that you have helped market your customer services?
Definitely digital communication. And I talk about this a lot. I have a teenager who, of course, is my biggest critic and yet also biggest help. And she's enlightened me that when you're trying to reach people, just sending them an email or sending them a marketing email is just not going to work, especially with the younger consumers. They're just not looking at that. They're not looking at that as a communication medium. They're not looking at as a content medium. They're looking much more than you think at like YouTube, obviously TikTok, not so much Facebook. The younger generations are not so into that. So the marketing business, the advertising business is still playing catch up as these digital mediums become more prominent and people start to figure out how to live their life without advertising. Although the funny thing is, I can't tell you on a day-to-day basis, I am constantly watching an ad in order to watch the ad that I'm looking for because I might be looking for it. I might be looking for it as a reference or something. So I'm on YouTube and then I'm like, oh yeah, wait, I have to watch an ad before I get to the thing I was looking for, which is actually kind of funny.
So what's the biggest change that you see in the way that companies are going to advertise their products over the next 2 years?
Still digital marketing, definitely. We come from a landscape of interruption advertising. Ads are, you're turning a page in a magazine, there's an ad. Ooh, who does that? Magazines. Or you're watching a show and a commercial comes on or that sort of thing. And, the younger generations just aren't going to tolerate that. They're not interested in that and they're not going to engage in the mediums that do that. So advertising needs to find other ways, whether that's sponsored advertising as a feature or a feature doc. We do that with Seville Productions, and they have Own the Room is streaming right now on Disney Plus. That was paid for by Shopify, but it's actually a proper documentary. So there are ways like that type of marketing is coming into play. I think that's going to be much more effective. I do still think event-based marketing, sports obviously is huge. Some outdoor, strangely enough, especially when it's done well. So it's just the landscape is changing and the marketers need to figure out how to keep up with that. And that's not easy. That's what we have you for.
Well, if you want to get one message out to the audience about you, your company, or tips, tricks, trends, what's that one message?
Well, I always have the latest of what I'm doing on my website. So definitely you can check that out, carolynreps.com. I would say be current. Try to watch either episodic things people are talking about, movies that are coming out. But the funniest thing and my biggest hot tip is I do ask my daughter every day or every other day what's trending on TikTok. And it's very funny to watch that move to mainstream media. So, for example, last week she was watching Bama Rush. So the girls in Alabama sororities were rushing and they were making all these TikToks. And like 3 or 4 days later, I saw a segment on NBC News about it. So it's very funny watching the younger generations create the trends and then find, the later mediums like gravitating towards that content. It's actually kind of funny.
Well, I appreciate you joining us on the program today and keep up all the great work. So to find out more about Carolyn Reps and Carolyn Hill and all the amazing things she can do to help your company grow, visit us at dailyadbrief.com. We'll see you next time on Marketing Champions.